Hello and welcome to a new clip with Beam Drive. Today I will test suspensions on different cars. We start the first time for the test with an Audi Q7 that has air suspension comes as standard on all versions of the Q7, but it's the Sport and S-Line versions that deliver the most comfortable ride. Let's get to work. Unfortunately, the Audi didn't hold up very well, and it didn't even go many meters. But from what I can see, its cardan and both planetary gears on the front were broken, which means that the car can't move forward at all. The second test car is a BMW X7, who has adaptive two-axle air suspension with R20 wheels. Most likely, it is much more comfortable than the Audi Q7. Let's get to work. The same thing happened to this car. The planetary gears on the front were still left, the one that was able to move forward without traction and on the back by breaking the cardan. The third car is a Mercedes-Benz GLS, which has an airmatic suspension package. An adaptive damping system meets modern air suspension. The result? An intelligent comfort suspension which is able to adjust automatically to the driving conditions, speed and load. Let's get to work. It seems that Mercedes has a very good suspension. Most likely it will shake you a little in the car, but the car did not receive any damage. The fourth car we have is a Ford Expedition that has a suspension system that relies on its shocks and struts to function properly. They help you stay in control as your car handles bumpy roads and uneven terrain, while the struts support the structure of the suspension. The shocks keep the car from bouncing too much. Let's get to work. Ford did quite well compared to the BMW X7. It suffered a little damage to the suspension, but otherwise it's a really good car. In the fifth car we have a Kia Sorrento, which has a suspension that relies on shocks and struts to function properly. Let's get to work. The Kia resisted quite decently, even if it has damage to the front and rear bumper. It seems quite rigid. It's not really like the Ford Expedition. The sixth car we have a Land Rover Range Rover. It has adjustable dynamic air suspension is fitted to every and preemptively prepares the vehicle for the road ahead using navigation data and switchable volume air springs for more responsive, dynamic and composed handling. Let's get to work. The Land Rover was quite difficult to keep straight over the test road. As damages we have the radiator, which was hit. The front bumper was torn off. The front suspension was dusted and the cardan. In the 7th car we have a Lexus LX570 which has a suspension included with adjustable hydraulic, height control HC and adaptive variable suspension apps. Let's get to work. Surprisingly, the Lexus held up very well, similar to the Mercedes GLS. It didn't have any damage. The 7th car is a Porsche Cayenne equipped as standard with steel spring suspension, including Porsche Active Suspension Management PASM for the first time, but in more premium trim we have air suspension. Let's get to work. He didn't do so well with the claim from Porsche, but he could have done better, with some pretty serious damage to the steering system and the front axle. In the 8th car we have a Toyota Land Cruiser that has its kinetic dynamic suspension system, KDSS, fitted to the Land Cruiser Icon and Invincible models. As the name suggests, KDSS is designed to react dynamically to the forces applied to the suspension, optimizing chassis performance whether on or off-road. Let's get to work. Toyota really makes quite successful suspensions. I was really surprised how Toyota managed. Good job. The 9th car we have is a Volkswagen Touareg featured an optional 4-wheel active air suspension, which can raise the ride height on command, and a locking rear differential to increase off-road capability. A rare option was a front locking differential. Let's get to work. It seems that the Touareg did not last long. The engine is still running and the suspensions are intact. The problem is that the cardan is broken, so it can no longer move forward. And finally, we have a Volvo XC90 with an electronically controlled pneumatic suspension. A choice of 5 modes, including one where the driver is free to customize the settings, ensures there is a perfect ride for everyone. Let's get to work. The Volvo did quite well compared to the previous models. There is a little damage to the front bumper, but the suspension worked very well. Good job. We will meet again in a new clip soon. Bye.